What's going on YouTube? All right, part two, starting your handyman and contracting business. We are going over the most important thing about business, customers. Well, also money, but we're going over customers because you need customers to get money. And yes, pros and cons, weeding out the bad customers, red flags, all that stuff. It's gonna be in this video. Let's get into it. All right, we're back in the basement here in my office. Let's get right into it. So I'll link in the description to the last video, part one of this entire series. If there is going to be a series, we'll see how it goes here. But lots of information on that one, setting up your business. Lots of information. It was like almost a 30-minute video. Go into that one, check it out after this one. But it's going to be linked in the description, as well as my contracts and all the information that I referenced from there, and also in this video too. This video, you should already have some sort of Facebook page, CRM. You should be using Joyce, QuickBooks Online, Jobber, all that good stuff. One of those, use those. You want to be able to set yourself apart from the chuck in the truck. Make sure you have some sort of online invoicing and estimating service. Plus, you can also take credit cards and everything like that through them as well. Super easy. Set it up. Just pay the small fee. It's definitely worth it. You should also have a website. Draw all your attention to that website. So all your social media pages should be referencing your website just to draw that information, and then your website can also create, send you leads where they can say, they look at your website and say, hey, yeah, I want this guy to work with us, or I want to hire this guy or girl, whatever it is, and go with it. First and foremost, now, if you've gotten this far, you should raise your prices again. If you're getting a bunch of leads coming in and people are talking to you and like, hey, you're getting a reputation for doing good work and everything, just across the board, raise your prices, because you do good work, and it's the word's getting out that you're doing good work. So you probably should just, get paid for that good work. So raise your prices. I guarantee you you're probably undercutting people as far as business wise or anything like that, but raise your prices, get a little extra money coming in, because money is everything. It buys happiness. It's what business is for. Money is the thing in business, period. I don't care what anybody says. All right, so let's talk about customers, how to keep them, which ones not to work with, and everything like that. So your system, so if somebody reaches out to you via whatever it is, Facebook, Instagram, Nextdoor app, your website, whatever it is, everybody who reaches out to you is not your customer. They are not your customer. They're not your friend. They are probably looking to waste your time to get pricing for something, but they're not your customer. Some of them are. You want some of them, but you want to be able to pre-qualify them over the phone, or via messenger. You don't need to go out to every job site and take a look at everything. You're gonna find out quickly, if you haven't already found out, that's a waste of your time to go to every job site to look at everything, to give them an estimate. There's things now that you've actually done some work, you've gotten some money in your bank account, you got some actual real life experience. You know what it takes you to do a door, hang a TV, do that floor, tile that shower. You know what it is, what it takes you. So you already have kind of rough numbers in your mind. So you don't need to see every shower, see every TV. You already have a price. What you're going to do is you're going to pre-qualify customers. When they reach out to you and say, okay, so as an example, a phone. They reach out to you, hey, Joe Schmo, Handyman, I'm looking to have I need an estimate on hanging a couple TVs in my house. When can you come out here? Customers will ask you, when can you come out here? Right there, you put on the brakes, hey, time out, okay, no problem. Hey, we'd love to do that for you, but just letting you know, our minimum TV hanging rate is $200 per TV. And shut up. So whatever your rate is, if it's $100, $200, whatever it is, you want to ask them their location first, because, if it's like 6 or 7 towns over, it's going to cost you more, right? So you're going to want to know location. Okay, no problem. Location of the TV hanging. So this is an example. Is it above a stone fireplace? Is it above, do you need a 15-foot ladder to get to the TV, et cetera, et cetera. So you're going to get some information first, but you're going to be like, hey, bring up price right away with customers as soon as you can anyway. As soon as it's feasibly you can, bring price right up, because you want to bring price up, let them know your pricing, and then shut up. Let them talk. Loose lips kills sales, whatever you want, over talking, oversharing. Just, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, my price for hanging TVs is $200 per TV. We include site prep, site cleanup, and for the $200 we'll supply a mount, basic mount for it. If you want, full range motion, it's going to cost more, etc., etc. But as an example, there you go. And then let them, and then just shut up, and then let them say yes or no. And then most of the time they might be like, oh, that's great, no problem. Or no, that's more, we're thinking like $50, for a fact that, hey, they're not your customer. If they don't like your minimum rate for whatever it is, right then and there, they're not your customer. You can end the phone call back. All right, I appreciate it. Thanks for the phone call. Hang up and get on your merry way. Otherwise you would have gone there, looked at everything. Cool, no problem. Okay, well, it's going to be $400 for these two. Oh, that's way too much. Like, you're already wasting your time. So right then and there, you just saved yourself a bunch of time. Now, if they say yes, fantastic, cool. Let's get you on the schedule. Get on your, your whatever, QuickBooks, your Jobber, whatever it is. Get them booked. Get them on your schedule. Get out there and take care of the work. But you want to be able to bring a price right up right away as fast as possible and get that off the table, period. Because with customers and with contractors and handyman, it's just like, oh, do I want to tell them the price? It's just say it right away, period. One of my favorite sayings in business is that your time, my time, is not a renewable resource. So when I tell customers, hey, they might ask me like, oh, why are you charging me? It's like, because my time is not a renewable resource. I have to charge for it, period. So I think my dad told me that, like, hey, we're, instead of, using dishes, we're using paper cups and plates because we can throw those away and they burn them in the burn pit or whatever. So we didn't have to, waste time when washing dishes and stuff. Anyways, yes, your time is not a renewable resource. So charge for it accordingly and charge for it as much as you can. Weeding out bad customers. This is what pre-calls are for. This is what, back and forth communication without going to a job site. You want to weed them out. Tire kickers, people are just shopping like, hey, I need a quote, and I'm collecting quotes for what, it doesn't matter. If they say they're collecting quotes, I don't even respond, period. Or I'll respond saying I'm not interested, or somebody's like trying to just like a general message on like, say, Facebook groups or whatever. If they're collecting quotes, I'm not even interested. I'm not, come to me when you actually want the job done. And you're just like, hey, I need to know what it is so I can make sure it fits in my budget. We're good to go. So if they say they're collecting quotes, or they want a free estimate, say, hey, I want a free estimate. All right, cool. What is it? Oh, we need a house built. Well, houses, range from $275 a square foot on up, depending on your, what you need done, whatever it is. And then you can just times 275 times 2,000 or however 2,500 or 1,500, whatever you want to. And obviously things vary, but there you go. There's your price. There's your free estimate. So stuff like that. But I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to see any plans. I don't have to do anything. That's your free estimate. Next red flag: any engineer, lawyer, anybody who has OCD, if customers will rat themselves out to you, very much so. If you're on the phone talking, oh yeah, I'm super picky, or blah blah blah, like that's a red flag. Now, I'm not saying you can't work with them or anything like that. Just charge accordingly. Just add percentages to your price, because it's gonna come up sometime. They're gonna be picky. They're gonna be nitpicky. Whatever it is, I personally don't want to work with them at all, period, because I've had some bad experiences. It's just the way it is. I'm not sure why. It's just. If that's my experience, I don't know what to tell you guys. That's my experience. You can absolutely work with them. Just make sure you charge accordingly. Next red flag: if they're asking for detailed line item estimates for free, specifically we don't do that. But the only reason why you should give a detailed line item estimate is if you're charging for it. Like, I charge for estimates, and I'll give a detailed estimate for what I'm charging. But that's basically, I'm not going to go line by line, but it's going to be detailed, lined out, because the estimate itself / bid is basically going to be like copy and paste scope of work, what they're approving when I actually do the contract. So I'll I'll list out things for them as per my, agreed upon fee that I'm charging them. But that's, again, $250 for on-site estimate and up, period. I've charged thousands of dollars for an estimate before, because big projects take a lot of time, a lot of effort, everything like that. Detailed estimate for free? No. That's the only reason why they're asking for that is so they can go line by line, nitpick it, or see where they can save money and then try to nickel and dime you and say, hey, take this out. We don't need this. This is too expensive. Don't even worry about that. I'll link in the video where I have a bunch more of these bad customer, weeding out, red flags and stuff like that in the description below. But those are some of them. Just stay away from them, or, just be prepared to take extra time for those customers. Now you need to be working on streamlining your customer service. What that means is when somebody wants to reach out to you, you need to be able to answer your phone, return texts or emails. If you're returning texts and emails in 3 hours, that's too long. That's period. That's too long. You need to be able to, I'm not saying answer them right away, but if you can, be like, hey, this one screw does not need to be driven in right now. I'm going to answer this phone. Hey, and they'll be surprised. I've gotten hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of work because I answer my phone. It's super important. If you return phone calls, return texts, good communication, which we'll get into in a second, is very key. So you want to, once they give you a call them back, get them on schedule, tell them a price right away, get that estimate to them as soon as possible. Absolutely do not wait. Time kills deals, as they say, which is correct. And you want to be like, all right, you're on the phone with them. Okay, this is no problem. They'll want to pay. Okay, I'll send you the invoice, pay for the estimate. Boom, I'll be there. Make that, make it a priority. Hey, I can be, if you're paying for the estimate, I'll make myself available. We'll get there, get you your estimate, make sure it's, what you're promising in the estimate for the estimate, basically. But, get it all detailed out, send it over to them as soon as possible. Next day at the latest, couple days. It depends on the scope of work, but, give them, same day, next day, whatever it is, get it out to them. That way, once I send an estimate, I want to get it out to them as soon as possible because it puts the ball in their court as a customer. Hey, you got to say yes or no to this, or request modifications to whatever estimate I sent you. It's on your plate. The job is done for me as far as the estimate or anything like that. I'm on to whatever other job I actually have to do, and it puts the ball, again, like I said, in their court. You want to over communicate with customers, period. So the night before your job, call them, text them, whatever you want to do. Hey, we're going to be, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, we're going to be there between 8:30 and 9:30, 8:30 and 10 o'clock. Never give exact times because the exact times are not for business. It's for contracting and handyman, just because traffic, anything can happen. So give time frames, 8:30 to 10:30, usually 2-hour windows or hour and a half windows, depending on where they are from where you're at. We'll start work here. Is expected to take 1 day, 2 days, half day, whatever it is. Just over communicate with customers. Even when you're on the job site, you're doing this, you're doing that. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, we're doing this and this. We should be done here in an hour. Let them know, because communication really, really helps out with customers. Makes them feel at ease with having a stranger in their house. Also, it sets you above the bar from the other truck in the trucks or the other contractors, because if somebody's wondering what's going on, then now their mind's moving to bad things, etc., etc. You just over communicate. Text them. Even if you're like, hey, I'm 25 minutes out. Hey, I'm only 5 minutes out. Boom, I'm here. We're good to go. So over communicate with customers. With communication also comes with informing them about leaving you a review. You should be telling them, hey, I'm gonna do just plant the seed in their mind, like, hey, we're gonna do a great job. We look forward to you guys' great review once we're all done. And that's like when you're starting out the job, and then even mid job or whatever, you're talking to them, because all the customers like to talk to contractors and handyman and stuff. And then just be like, hey, we're doing all this. Hey, now ask them to leave you a review before you leave the job site if it's a small one. Hey, if you can, we're almost done here. We're pretty much set up. If this is what you expected from us, please go on Google, leave me a 5-star review. Tell us how good we're doing. We would really appreciate that before we leave. And then because once you leave the job site, your likelihood of getting a great review or a review in general is, it goes down dramatically, period. So, and I'm really bad about that. I'm not the greatest. I don't have the greatest reviews, or as many reviews as I definitely don't have. But yes, you need to plant the seed early, get reviews, because reviews sell other work, period. Like, social proof is key in today's contracting and handyman world. All right, next with customers, never do work without a signed agreement, estimate, change order, and contract, or all the above, or at least one of them, because it will bite you in the butt almost all the time. The days of just handshake agreements are gone, long gone, period. Make sure you have a signed estimate, approved estimate, contract, everything. I have a contract. I'll link in the description if you guys want to email me. I sell my contracts. They are pretty detailed. It's not just your Joe Schmo service call kind of contract. This is, it lists out a bunch of stuff here, and you'll have to obviously modify it to your business needs. But I have contracts. I have a contract with my subcontractors. It's just everything's in writing because it needs to be in writing, period. So don't do any work unless it's agreed upon. And if it's a change order, make sure that change order is signed and you collect ahead of time for that change order, because customers will either not pay it, forget about it, or disapprove of it, or whatever, want to disagree with you, period. Definitely don't do work without some sort of written agreement. The last 10% of a job site, like the work you got to do, probably will take about 40% of the time you have allotted for that entire job, because it's customers coming by, checking out stuff, your site cleanup, want to make sure things are perfect. Customer, you're trying to get out there. Customers sometimes think that they'll never see you again. I don't know what this is about. Like, they'll never see you again. So they're like, oh, what about this? What about this? And if they try to add extra work at the end of the job, no problem, make sure you have a signed contract. But for some reason, for me, the last 10% of a job site takes about 40% just to get past that. We're done, we're out of here finally. For some reason, customers think that they'll never see you again and they don't have your phone number and they can't call you back for whatever other reason, for whatever it is. So just keep that in mind. Prepare yourself, but also make sure you, in your estimate, you have the extra hours, man hours allotted for the last 10% of a job site. And one of the main things about a customer is sometimes keeping their job site, keeping their house clean, keeping whatever it is clean, or site prepping is more important than actually finishing the project or doing that said agreed upon estimate, because they want to keep their house. It's where they live, it's where they work, whatever you're doing in commercial work. Just keep it clean because it'll go miles for you for repeat business, for good reviews. Keep it clean. Make sure you have a vacuum with you, a dustpan, broom. You know, you want plastic to keep dust into a minimum, tape, you know, all that kind of stuff, and be thorough when you're cleaning up. Make sure, because, man, sometimes, like, we'll get great reviews about the cleanup, like, they don't care about the job. Hey, they did great, you know, they respected my, you know, property, all that kind of stuff, and nothing about the actual job. Just, they did great, cleaned up, it was fantastic, good communication, and that's it. So, make sure you keep a dustpan, a broom, and a vacuum with you at all times. You want to be efficient on the job site. You don't want it to look like you don't know what you're doing. So if you come to the job site with the tools you need, getting to work, you should already know what you need to do. So being efficient on the job site is key to make, for one, puts the customer's mind at ease that you know what you're doing. Two, you're getting the job done in an efficient manner so you can get on to the next job. You're making more money, or at least making the piece rate, and you're just getting on to the next job. It helps out both parties. You want to be efficient. So if you're going to the job site, oh, I got to make 5 trips to Home Depot, that's not professional. Also, it's killing your day for sure. So you want to be efficient, know what you're doing, and also just have the correct tools. I'm not saying have the best tools, but have the correct tools for the job, period. That goes a long way with your reputation, with how you look in front of a customer, and good reviews too. One of the last things we're going to go into here is getting a customer's approval for the work you're doing as soon as you can. So as you're going through, like, hey, does this look good? Bring over, you're working, you're doing stuff. Hey, does this look, we're doing, because you don't want to get the entire job done and be like the customer, like, oh, it's supposed to be like this, or it was like, you don't want to make a mistake at the end, or make a mistake during the middle of the job and then wait till the end to find out so you can correct it. It'll save you time. So, you're doing some work or painting, whatever it is, like, hey, how's this looking for you guys? Looking at through everything, making sure you're inspecting, because, they live there. You do not, as far as, being a residential contractor or a handyman. So they know what things look like in general. And you want to make sure your communication's up to par. Hey, is this looking good? Hey, this is looking fantastic. Awesome. So when you're done, you're ready to collect, there's no surprises at the end, because surprises are really deflating. You're thinking you're done, you're already cleaned up, and then they're like, oh, what about this? It was supposed to be over here, and so you get your tools back out. It's happened to me so many times. It's frustrating, but you want to make sure the customer's happy, because one, you want that good review, and two, you want to make sure you're doing good work so you can stand behind your work and it's exactly what you're supposed to be doing per your signed agreed upon estimate or bid or contract. And that's what I got for you guys for this video. Just talking about customers, best practices. I make mistakes, absolutely. I've got so many crazy customer stories I could go into. This video would be hours and hours long. But if you guys got any questions for me, leave them in the comment section below. I appreciate it. We'll see you on the next video.